back to my channel. Aimee here. Hi, hello. I still exist. It's been a minute. I feel like I've been saying that in all my videos lately. I just haven't been here a lot. Why does my light keep going out? Okay, there we go. Story of my life. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I'm filming this on November 28th, the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. But I wanted to hop on real quick, just give you a really quick update. And also, I watched, as soon as my eyeballs opened this morning, I watched Heated Rivalry on HBO Max. Y'all. Oh my gosh, it's only the first 2 episodes, but so much is in those first 2 episodes. I've also recently, like this past week, reread Heated Rivalry. Well, actually listened to it this go round. The audio's not my favorite, but it's okay. But I wanted it to be fresh in my mind before I hopped into the show. I don't know if you've been following it on social medias, or if you're here on this channel, you probably already know, or you've read Heated Rivalry. You know I've read it years ago. Back when I read it, you were all my viewers were telling me before I read it that I needed to read this book. So I did, and it was amazing. And then we had to wait for the long game. I know they have different copies now, but this is my copy of the long game. I don't have Heated Rivalry, but I did order it, so it is coming. But it is the new cover, the you know, the artsy cover. But this is my copy of the long game. I do plan on rereading this as well, because, you know, Heated Rivalry kind of, I mean, it ends on a good note, but it ends with us wanting more. And I want more out of everything. I can't wait for next Friday to get to episode 3. What's going to happen in episode 3? What are we going to see in episode 3? It's everything I would have wanted in one of my books coming to life as far as a male-male romance. We don't get to see this a lot. We don't get these love stories a lot, which is a shame, because these are beautiful love stories. We need more of these romances. We want to see these come to life. It's amazing. It's so good. And the actors did an amazing job. Hudson Williams played Shane, and Connor Stories played Ilya, and they were perfect. I'm telling you, perfect for these roles. They, like, Shane was totally the Shane I was picturing in my mind, and Ilya was the Ilya I was picturing in my mind. Like, they could not have made better choices for these characters. They did amazing jobs. If you've seen it, you know. Let me know in the comments if you've watched it yet. I'm not gonna give away any spoilers, but I will tell you that there are some very hot scenes in these first 2 episodes. Very hot. We get to see lots of booty, I will tell you that, so you can look forward to something in the near future. If you haven't watched it yet, this is me telling you to go watch it. The sexy scenes are, wow. Just, I could not have imagined it any better in my mind. Any better. Wow. Just wow. In fact, I will be rewatching it later tonight, or later on this I don't know what time it is. It's almost 4 o'clock when I'm filming this. I'm trying to get this up today for y'all, because this video is also going to include a video that I filmed back in October, and here we are, November 28th. I am so sorry, y'all. I'll get into that in a minute, which is not much. I have no excuses other than I have nothing. I could give you the same old story. Work's busy, life's busy, but honestly, yeah, those things are always busy, and I just need to take more time to what I love to do, and I don't seem to be doing that. I had a terrible reading month for November. I don't think I read maybe I might have read 4 books in November. One of them was Heated Rivalry, but I did read some good books, and so I'll get to those, not in this video, but maybe in my October wrap up we'll talk about what books I also read in November, because there wasn't many. But I did reread Heated Rivalry this past week. Absolutely loved it, and I'll probably be rereading The Long Game very, very soon. I'm sort of in like a slump, if you will, because my mind has just been, I have been waiting for this movie since we heard that it was going to happen for us in the US. It was in Canada. We knew they had it on Crave, and then we get the news that we're gonna have it on HBO Max on November 28th, and I have just been, like, my mindset has just been for that goal. Like, I cannot wait. So I immediately hopped on to rereading Heated Rivalry so I could have it fresh in my mind. And it couldn't have been more better. Oh, I forgot how much I loved that book. But yeah, so good. Please let me know in the comments if you read it. What are your thoughts? Did you love it? Aren't these guys so good at being Shane and Ilya? Like, I couldn't have pictured anybody better. Amazing job. Moving on, yeah, I just want to say, hey, hi, hello, I'm still here. I've been wanting to post this video, but I've not this video, but my September wrap up, but I felt like time was like going forward too fast, and I lost like that window I felt to post the video, being it was filmed in October, at the tail end of October, I do believe. And I meant to put it up like the same day I filmed it, and I did not do that. It's edited, it's ready. So this is the beginning to that, but I also just wanted to chit chat a little bit and tell y'all to go watch Heated Rivalry if you haven't already, or if you have, rewatch it. I'm going to be rewatching it this evening. And yeah, just to say hello. The holidays are among us, and if you've been with me for a while, you know that holidays are not really my jam, I guess. I love Halloween. I'm here for Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving because I love the food and spending time with my family, but leading into Christmas gives me high anxiety. Nothing against the holiday. I'm not trying to be a Scrooge or anything. I just have a lot of anxiety during the month of December. There's people everywhere. People are crazier in the month of December. So many things that we have to do, parties and being around people. And I'm finding the older I get, the more that is, not necessarily a problem, but it has become hard for me to be. It's like almost like a social anxiety thing, which I have seen my doctor for. So yes, that's really the only, if I want to say, excuse for not being here the last couple weeks or the last month. I don't know how long it's been since I posted a video. But it's my brain getting ready for the holidays. I don't know what to read. October was here and I was ready to read all the spooky books, and I was doing it, and then October flew by, and here we are in November, and I am lost with what I want to read. Like, do I want to read a thriller? No. I think I want to read male romance. But where do I start with male romance? Like, I have so many books that I want to read, thrillers and male romances. I'm overwhelmed with everything I want to read, as well as the holidays coming. That's really it. My brain is getting in the way of everything, and work has been super stressful lately. It's been very busy. I don't have a lot of downtime during my day, which I'm not mad about, and I'm very blessed and thankful that I get to do it from the comfort of my own home. But it does get stressful, and at the end of the day, when I clock out and I move away from my desk, I'm drained. I am drained. Could I be going through perimenopause? That's another thing. I'm having all sorts of different, there goes my light again, all sorts of different changes in my body that is happening, and I don't know what it is. My doctor says no, but I feel like it's the beginning of the end, if you know what I'm saying. I am 48 years old, so it's got to come sooner or later, right? So lots of things going on up in here. Yeah, that's all I can give you. Just bear with me, because I do love being here. I've missed sitting in front of the camera and talking to y'all and watching. I think watching Heated Rivalry this morning was sort of therapeutic, because it made me want to get in here and talk to y'all about it, because it was so amazing and I wanted to express that to y'all. But I'll stop yapping. I plan on being here. Just bear with me on what I'm gonna put up. I don't know what I'm gonna read in the month of December, so I think I'm gonna start getting my, you know, like books of the year videos together and figure that out for the month of December. I think the month of December just might be me, I don't know, rereading some things. I'm all up in my, I'm wanting more male romances is what I'm saying, is what I'm trying to get at. Just watching Heated Rivalry, I want more. I want more of that. So yeah, I don't have a TBR for you. We're just gonna go with the flow for December. Like I said, November was not that great of a reading month. I only read 4 books, I think. And Heated Rivalry was one of them, so 3 other ones. Maybe? I don't even know. I don't even remember. But maybe put me some recommendations down in the comments. I really do want to read a male romance. If there's a series you think I need to jump into, which I'm actually kind of thinking about, is it the Puck Boy series by Saxon James and Eden Finley? Is that the name of the series? I'm picturing it in my mind. There's a lot of books in there, and it's a hockey male romance series, so it's kind of like popping into my head like, ooh, that might be something I want to read. But also Talbert has some hockey romance books. His latest one, The Fall, I heard some good things about that. But I also want to read, I think is it called Gravity? And I think there's another one after that one. I can't think of the name of it, but drop me some recommendations for male romances from my fellow male romance readers out there. What do you think? What do you think I need to start? Do you think I need to start a series, or is there a standalone that you think I would enjoy? Okay, I'm gonna stop yapping. So without further ado, here is my September wrap up. Bye y'all. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Aimee here. Today we're gonna review some books that I read in the month of September. I was only able to get to 6 books in the month of September. That's okay. We're not at a race here to get to the most books. It was busy. But I did have a pretty good month as far as reading goes. So I'm gonna do it a little different. Instead of like starting at the top of my month and reviewing the book that I started at the beginning of the month, we're gonna go from how I rated the book. So my lowest rating for the month of September was 3.5 stars. So that tells you something. I had some pretty good books. We'll start off with Not Quite Dead Yet. This is by Holly Jackson. This is one that I gave 3.5 stars to. I did enjoy it, but I did find that it was a little too long, and at some points I got a little bored in the story. So we follow Jet. Jet gets attacked in her home on Halloween night. She's hit in the back of the head pretty hard, where she is forming an aneurysm in her brain, and it will rupture, causing her to die. So before she dies, so she basically has an expiration date. The doctor has given her an amount of time and has given her options as well. You'll read all about that right at the beginning of the book. So she is going to take this time that she has left to find out who did this to her. There's quite a few people in Jet's life that could be suspects. Family members, friends, a lot of people are suspects. There's a lot of lot of things happening. But like I said, it does kind of get to the point where I'm like, okay, let's get to what's happening here. What's going down. So it did start to get a little bit better towards the end when the story starts to pick up and we really start to figure out who did this and why. Now the ending did shock me. I had no idea, never saw it coming, hence why I gave it the half star. Otherwise, I just thought the story was mediocre. It was okay. I never got to a point where I didn't want to, or like I wasn't invested. I just found that it got really, really slow, and I was just ready to get to the point and just felt like it might have been a little bit too long. But otherwise, I found it was almost worth it to get to that ending. It was very complicated. I have a lot of notes wrote down for the ending, just trying to like keep up with everything. So I really did enjoy that part of the story. But then again, there's also a sad part of the story in the end. Then we have Forget Me Not by Stacey Willingham. This was my next 3.5 star. And again, really my only reason for that is the fact that I did get a little bored somewhere towards the middle. So we follow Claire in this story. Claire is, or sort of was, a journalist. She's kind of like on her own right now, trying to do some freelance work. When she gets a call from her father that her mother needs her help. She and her mother, I guess, are maybe a little estranged, but there's sort of a reason for that the more you get into the story. So she does end up going home to help her mother. Now, part of the reason they are estranged is due to the fact that Claire's older sister, Natalie, disappeared around her 18th birthday, and her body was never found. So there was no actual closure in whether she could still be out there somewhere or if they should presume she is no longer with us. While she's home, Claire decides she's going to make a little bit of money, and instead of staying with her mother in her home, since her mother aren't doing so well, she takes on this job at this Galloway Farms, a vineyard where they supply her room and board while she's working there for the summer. And here is where things start to get a little strange, and Claire starts to get really curious about this farm and why is it making her feel strange, and like what's going on. Something just doesn't feel right to her. So she's going to do some investigating. Once again, it was work to get to the ending. It was very twisty turny, never saw it coming. We get answers about Claire's sister Natalie. It just all drew to a very nice closure that I really did enjoy. I had one actual like full 4-star read for the month of September, and that is Do Not Disturb by Frida McFadden. You know, I gotta throw Frida in there somewhere. We follow Quinn throughout this story as she is basically running from something that she has done, a very bad thing that she has done. She's running from this incident, and she finds herself at this motel. It seems very sketchy. The owner of the motel's name is Nick, and his wife Rosie, or Rosalie. She used to have a diner. She was a great cook until she was diagnosed with MS, and now she just kind of watches over in their home. She watches over the motel. It's kind of has a very creepy vibe. Rosie has a very creepy vibe to her, but the more you hear about Rosie, and you will get her point of view sometime in here, you understand. And then we have Quinn's sister Claudia, who is looking for her at this time. But there's a lot of things about Claudia that you find out in this book as well. There are so many things going on. I mean, it's a small book, and there's a lot of things going on, as there should be for Frida McFadden. The ending is twists and turns. You never see it coming. It was very good, and I feel like it would be a great addition to your spooky reads, because the old motel gives it just some really creepy like Bates Motel kind of vibe. Then we have Don't Let Him In by Lisa Jewell. This was 4.5 stars. This was so like kind of off the wall. The more we got towards the end, I didn't know which way to look. But we mainly follow Ash, whose father has just passed away from a tragic accident. Her father's name was Patty. He owned I believe like a restaurant chain. He was a very well-known chef. Well, Ash's mother starts dating someone named Nick after the passing of Ash's father. Although they were they weren't really on good terms, before his passing. There's a whole story there, but yeah. So the mother is dating someone else, and Ash becomes very suspicious about this man and just starts digging into who he is. And you also get the perspective, a male point of view, the perspective from a male character. We don't know who this male character is. At first I was wondering, is this Patty, Ash's father? Is this Nick? But then you start to understand that this is the character. This character that we're following is very manipulative, very much of a con artist. But who is he? How does he fit into this story? I was more invested into his point of view than I was with Ash, because I was really intrigued with, like, he had so much going on, like so many things that he was like trying to manipulate people of. We don't know who this character is the entire time, but he was fascinating to me, and I couldn't wait to find out how he fit into this story. It was really good. It kept me engaged. I was always wondering what the heck was going on and how this was going to end, where this was going, what happened to Patty. Was this an accident, or at least, you know, like a true accident, or was this something that was meant to happen, something that someone did to Ash's father? So many things are going on, so many thoughts. It was a lot, but I really enjoyed it. And now for my 5 stars. My first five star I'm going to talk about is Saving Noah, and this is by Lucinda Berry. This, y'all, I wouldn't say this is a thriller. This is more of, shoot, I don't even know. I don't know how to describe this book whatsoever. It just sort of makes you think. What would you do if you were in this situation? If you were put here, how would you handle this? So we have Adrian. Adrian is Noah's mother. When Noah was 15, he was convicted of child molestation. I think that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it right there. But the book it's so much more than that. Like, I'm not giving anything away because you know this right away. But and it's a short story. I did listen to this on audio. The audio book is fantastic. But it just makes you feel, and it makes you think. Like, put in this situation, what would you do? How would you handle this? I can't stop repeating myself on that, because I don't know what I would do. But yeah, we follow Adrian, and then we also have another point of view, a male point of view, that is very interesting. And this leads us to a very interesting, and wasn't expecting that twist at the end. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, it's a very short book. We know the gist of it. Now you just have to read it and see how it makes you feel. That's really it. And it made me all the feels. After I finished it, I just had to take a deep breath. Last but definitely not least, my last 5 star for the month of September is The Prodigal Son, and this is by Sarah Kate. This was phenomenal, y'all. Like, so good. Now, this is the 4th book in the series. The series is called The Good Brothers. So I am going to go back to the beginning, even though the rest of these books are male-female. I still want to learn more about these characters. In fact, I do have the first book that I need to get to, but this is Theo and Jensen's story. Theo has 2 names, which I'll let you read the book to discover why he has 2 names. But one of the reasons is because he is a famous country singer. While on the road, he runs across Jensen, who is attending one of his concerts. Now, you will be getting point of views from both our men. Now, I did listen to this. This was narrated by Teddy Hamilton and, what was the other guy's name? Because he did a fantastic job as well. Dane Anderson. Great narration for these characters. Now, Jensen is a preacher, but he's not just any preacher. There's a lot of history behind this. Not necessarily their relationship, because they've never known each other, but Theo comes from a very religious family, and his father was a preacher. So there's a lot of backstory going on. There's a lot of things that Jensen is learning about Theo and who he really is. I don't want to give too much away in case you want to read it, because it's just a very engaging and beautiful story. Theo and Jensen have so much good chemistry, and it's so sexy. I loved it. Yeah, 5 stars. One more thing to add about The Prodigal Son. Jensen is also having a hard time not believing in himself or who he is, but having a hard time putting it out there for everyone else to accept who he is, being that he is a preacher, and his church and his followers see him as one thing, but he truly is something else. So that's another part of the story that's really beautiful as we follow Jensen, and he just kind of rediscovers himself and opens up to the world about who he really is. The more he and Theo become a couple. Just a beautiful story all the way around. I can't wait to read more in this series by Sarah Case. She's just this was my first book by her, and phenomenal writing. Okay, I'll stop. All right, that's my reads for the month of September. Not many, but it was a really good reading month. So stay tuned for my October wrap up. I'll start wrapping up the month of October for y'all soon with all my spooky reads and getting ready for November. Thank y'all so much for watching. As always, I hope you're all doing well out there, and I'll see y'all very soon in another video. Bye, y'all.